It's the final 3 weeks of the season. Still plenty to play for here as we're underway in Week 15. This is taken at the 3. And he'll take this across the 25. Couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. So here are the Giants ready to start their initial drive of the game. At a glance at the man under center at 6'5", he always demands attention. James now throwing on first down. And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes. So a look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. And they tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up.
No excuses. Be ready to play. That's the mantra of every organization. The key is having guys on the roster who are capable of filling in and playing at a high level. That's when you know you've drafted well, scouted free agents well, and stocked your team just the way you're supposed to.
9 yards on the pickup that time, so he got more than half of it back, but it's still a 3rd and 8. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him, so when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Fresh set of downs here. Back to throw. James. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. And this O-line, it is the lifeblood of the offense.
They establish the tone. Mean, nasty, physical. They can't wait to get after people. That allows the rest of the offense to feel confident.
Offense looking to avoid a 3rd and long. It's 2nd and 10. James going to throw again. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Brooks. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height. Sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there if he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does for a quarterback has to slide and find open space to throw.
And this time the yards won't come so easy as they'll, in fact, tackle him behind the line. Good opening quarter for him. Remember, he had the sack earlier. Now a tackle for loss, another tackle for loss.
He's really making it tough on the play caller, though, isn't he? Because it's one thing to try and adjust when a guy is disrupting your running game. But when he's messing up your passing game as well, they may have to devote at least a second guy to him to try and keep him away from their plays.
All right, here we go.
To throw is James. To throw on 2nd down. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
How about the timing on that one? Boy, they were in sync, weren't they? 3-step drop, balls out of his hands, right to the tight end. Nice completion, just like they do it in practice.
On 3rd down, that's Reynolds. And he's going to get to the 31, enough for the first down. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs. That O-line, they cleared a big hole there on that run.
The athleticism of offensive lines continues to evolve, and we're seeing it here. Not only are they controlling things right at the line of scrimmage, but they're able to get upfield to get to what we call the 2nd and the 3rd levels. You know, get to the linebacker spot, the secondary spot, getting all the way downfield with their blocking, which helps keep the running back clean.
They'll try to continue that trend here this afternoon.
Here we go now, Marty.
And he'll get about 3 as he's brought down to the 28. And this defensive line will be looking to control the point of attack.
And that's what they've done throughout this season. This is a terrific unit. They play together very, very well, and they don't permit big plays to happen.
They will run again with Coleman. And he'll get this one down to about the 27. Just a gain of a yard there, and now it'll be 3rd down.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense, and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And a big collision there as he winds up flat on his back. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
A short gain that doesn't get them the first down brings up a 4th down situation.
Really nice job defensively. They knew where the sticks were. They got the stop before it. And his kick here is good. And the Giants are off now to a 3-0 lead. And Charles, they get the field goal. Took him a dozen plays, though.
Work with me on this one. You know what I'm about to say, right? Bend but don't break. That's what came into play here for the defense. 12 plays were run at them. They only gave up 3 points. In a lot of ways, that's a win for the defense.
This will be taken about the 12. Then he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. So here come the Falcons now to get the football for the first time. And their quarterback, well, everyone knows he's got height, standing at 6'6". They'll start the drive with Dixon. And able to stay on his feet past the 30 to about the 33-yard line. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it 2nd down. And the Buffet boys, the O-line, hopefully they're ready today.
Listen, you got to feed them first. But if you do, you usually get a great product out on the field. And when they play well, the quarterback can't wait to feed them afterwards.
To throw on 2nd down. Decker, he's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
Yeah, it was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Second down, 8. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Decker. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
This team is not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. They came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
On 3rd down, Decker. And this is going to be incomplete.
Used to have a coach used to tell us all the time, those scouting reports aren't just to use up paper, guys. Well, nowadays, we're watching a computer screen, right? They scouted this team very well. Know that they like to use the running backs in the passing game. They covered that play successfully.
They punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. And that one hits a little too close to the goal line, and it continues into the end zone for a touchback. As the Giants head back out there, let's take a look at the playoff picture in the NFC. As we take a look at the playoff picture, and certainly a lot of jostling still to go in these final few weeks. For the moment, they would be a wild card team, far from locked up, but that's why this is exciting. These last few weeks, a lot to play for.
Yeah, exciting for us because we get to talk about it, and, at the end of the day, 6 teams are going to go from each conference, and guess what? We're going to have the playoffs. But nerve-wracking for all the people involved, all the teams, because their goal is to get there. And anything less than that makes the season a disappointment. So they've got to be primed now for a big finish to their season.
Now James looking to throw on second down. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. 7 yards on the play, and they're going to have a third down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
The Giants on third down. They've been okay, 2 for 3 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 3. Here's James. From the gun, he'll throw. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
You absolutely have to have this early on, right? 3rd and short, they elect to throw for it, and that's normal NFL football. They're going to throw on 3rd and short, but you've got to hit it, don't you?
Yeah, in the first quarter, like you said, to set the tone, can't connect there. And the Giants send out their punter now, as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. Pulled in at the 24. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. Now the Falcons offense gets ready to head back onto the field. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is, can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. You see the numbers on the ground for Dixon a week ago. You see the numbers last week for Davis. In the end, not enough to help get him the victory.
And as we look forward to this week, don't you just get the sense that he's going to get the ball a little bit more? I mean, that's just how it reads to me. I don't know how you're feeling about it.
Well, they talked about that with us this week. That's going to be a priority for them.
Give him the ball, let him do his thing.
Quick hitter here, it's complete. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains.
Some think that teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost in there. People can't really locate them, and they run that quick cut on the slant, and oftentimes they can turn it into big plays.
The clock running here, under a minute to go now in the first quarter of a 3-0 game. On first down, they go with Dixon. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down. If you start assessing what went wrong last week, Charles, in their loss, had nothing to do with the ground game. They ran it well.
And you also have to say to yourself as a team, don't go away from what worked. That's not the reason the game was lost. Running the football over time, when you do it consistently, usually translates into wins.
And they're hoping to do it consistently here. So 1 quarter in the books on a cold December afternoon. It's a 3-point game here early. EA Sports NFL Sunday returns following this. Alongside Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, it's the Falcons in possession to begin quarter number 2. They've got a 3rd down and 5 to start things out. From the gun, Decker. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he will have first down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree. One thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. 12 yards there as they move the chains. Now a handoff for Dixon. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4. For a lot of people, the MVP award means a quarterback award usually, but over 100 yards again last week. They're going to have to look his way more than once when giving out this award this season, I think.
Yeah, it's not just the consistency. There's been some plays that we've seen where we talk about it for weeks thereafter. That's what we're getting out of him. Over 100 yards last week. Expects to continue that in this game, too.
It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they bottled him up throughout the game because that was his longest run of this contest.
Fight his way down right around the 12. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
And as we've seen throughout this season, it's no picnic trying to score touchdowns against this unit. They're ranked number 1 against the run. But it's also difficult because it's not easy to throw the ball against them either.
To throw on 2nd down. Decker throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
Sometimes the coverage is so good, no matter what you're doing on offense, you just can't shake anyone free. They try their best to find someone open, but they took away every passing alley, every angle, and shut the play down.
To throw on 3rd down. Decker. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Giants have it. It's picked up. And this return is going to be halted right around the 28-yard line. A bad 3rd down mistake there.
Points were already on the board in their mind. And that's the worst part about it, right? Because it's just like in golf. Never count it in the cup until it rolls in there. Otherwise, you can really get messed up with your scores. In this case, you know they thought, hey, at least 3, maybe even a chance to get 6. It's a little bit demoralizing going off the field now that you've turned it over and you come up empty.
Yeah, if he holds on to that, at least the field goal on 4th down, now they lose him. Here's the Giant offense now as they get ready to take over here. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. Well, a well-executed blitz, no doubt. Great job by the linebacker. Maybe the quarterback, if he could have seen that, could have audibled there.
Yeah, he needed to be in a different play because that one just messed.
Pressure brought in, and the Falcons get there for the sack. He didn't get rid of the football there, took the sack. Although that's easier said than done. He can't just chuck the thing sideways into the seats.
No, he really can't because you're not afforded total protection as a quarterback. You have to get outside of the tackle boxes as defined by the NFL, meaning wherever your tackles operate normally, get outside of that. And the ball that you throw has to get back to at least the line of scrimmage. Otherwise, you face an intentional grounding call.
James now. Throwing on 3rd and long. And he took the contact as he was throwing it. And the ball drops incomplete.
Putting pressure on the guy throwing the football is always good. But when you can couple that with contact on him that leads to an incompletion as we just saw there, that's winning football.
And the Giants send out their punter now. as he'll kick it away for the second time. Time for our first check of the NFL scoreboard. And the Steelers there out to an early lead. That one tight to this point, and you'd have to imagine it'll stay tight throughout. And when it's said and done, it's a 58-yard punt. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Here comes the Falcon offense now as they get set to take over here. And this is a unit that, to be frank, doesn't look like they've woken up yet. I mean, a punt and a turnover on their first 2 drives.
And I think the game's starting to take shape a little bit now. And I'm going to take it into the basketball world. When you're having trouble scoring or moving the ball in back.
Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 30. And they will take over at the 26-yard line. That's now his 2nd interception in as many weeks from his linebacker position.
And think about all the different techniques he has to employ in a passing situation. Is he spot dropping because it's zone? Is he picking up man-to-man? Is he having to run with a running back or a tight end? In any event, great eyes, head on a swivel, and excellent hands.
Yeah, versatility and showing those hands. And the Giants ready to come out now. They were forced to punt last time, and I doubt sincerely that they'll have to punt here because they're gifted with terrific field position.
I don't even want to think about the idea that they would end up punting starting with this type of field position. Neither do they. Great starting spot. Great opportunity to run your full playbook. They want to take a shot here, they can go ahead and do it.
And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on 2nd down.
They run a draw here on 2nd down. And he'll be taken down near the 20 at the 21. Call it a gain of a yard, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 5.
The best defensive linemen, they play with great leverage so they can get low and not get bowled over by offensive linemen. They have excellent hands. They can throw people off on a play. We just saw a great example of a really good run stop by a guy playing the defensive tackle position.
On 3rd down. It's Reynolds. No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up 4th down. Yeah, I think the blitz there really disrupted the draw.
Yeah, and it's usually when you catch them in a blitz, the draw works pretty well. If you're the offensive coordinator right now, that's visor throwing time, isn't it? Because that's supposed to work in a big way.
And his kick is right there. It's good, and that will double their lead as it's up to 6. So after the pick, they can't capitalize for 6, but they do get 3.
And I know in this situation, most of us want to focus on the offense. You know what side of the ball I played on. Let's give that defense a lot of credit. Taking it over in a sudden change situation and shutting them down.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now out comes their leader and the captain of this offense back onto the field. He's got to dig deep here, doesn't he? Team's losing. He's not playing well either.
And they always tell you, don't press. You'll make things a little bit worse. But in this particular situation, you try and heighten your play a little bit. So far, he's thrown 1 interception. He wants to bounce that off with at least 1 touchdown pass in order to get his team back moving forward.
And they're able to get this one across the 35. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
Well, so much for him being bottled up throughout the day. Finally finds a way to break through and get a really nice gain. The defense had felt great about what they had going. Now they've got to turn their attention to getting it back in that direction. Can they bottle him up again? Because I'd say after that run, confidence is pretty high for him.
Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10. They'll keep it on the ground. It's Dixon again. And this defense not giving him anything there. Maybe a yard up to the 36.
Nice job by that defensive front there to hold him to a short gain on 1st down. Well played, I must say.
Yeah, only getting 1 yard. There was no room to run.
Let's go! 3-19! 3-19!
On 2nd down, it's Dixon. And he'll take this one for about 4 up to the 40.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
On 3rd down, Decker. And he will find his man on the outside. outside. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains.
Here we go. Green, 39.
2 minutes to play here in the first half. We're back to East Rutherford, but first this timeout. A reminder that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll check in with Larry Ridley in Orlando with highlights and analysis of this first half of play.
And I'm going to check in with a heater.
I'm going to be right there with you, partner.
Here we go.
On 1st and 10, Decker. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down. So he can't hang on, and as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Well, you know a coach said that, right?
Yeah.
Not an actual player. Not a chance at all. Way easier said than done.
Back to the air on 2nd down. Decker toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because any incompletions on 1st and 2nd down, now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. But if you don't pick up the 1st down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
Here we go. Green, 39. Green.
To throw on 3rd down. Decker, and incomplete here on 3rd down. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better. Got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
The punter Bosher on now as he gets this one away. And this is a beauty as that ball's going to angle out at the 6-yard line. New York set to take the field. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet.
And he's going to go down. He backed up into the end zone, and this is going to wind up a safety. Well, I think you can go ahead and give your punter an assist on that one. Pinned him deep, and the defense comes through with 2 points.
You're exactly right, partner. This was all set up by a great punt, and if the ball goes in the end zone, this never happens. So great call. Give the punt team and the punter some love.
After the safety, remember, they also need to give up the football, and here's the free kick. That's fielded at the 8-yard line. And some room to roam now. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the second quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes,
and he can't get away from the pressure. The Giants get there. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. On 3rd down, here's Dixon. Now a second timeout called for by the defense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. And now following that timeout, the defense back out onto the field. Here's Matt Bosher now as he's on to punt for Atlanta. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And a fair catch taken back near about the 35, 36-yard line. Call it 38 yards on the punt, no return. And it'll be Giant football 1st and 10. And New York set to take the field. And the last time they had the football, they surrendered 2 points on the safety. They don't want to do that one again.
No, not at all. It's almost like a bases clearing double, isn't it? Give up a couple of runs. Sure. just messes things up for you offensively. But now they've got to go ahead, take it, set it aside, and move forward.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
Throwing on 1st down, James. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 33. And his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line.
Well, this had trouble written all over from the start. He's got 2 extra defensive backs in the game he's got to deal with. They're in a dime set. So everywhere he's looking, he's seeing a different color jersey. And sure enough, this one winds up being intercepted.
They're in the 2nd quarter at Heinz Field. And the Steelers there out to an early lead. I have a feeling that one's going to stay tight throughout. We'll continue to monitor. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. You can count his carries on one finger. They've only given him the rock one time, Charles. What gives?
So we can't draw any conclusions just yet. He has to touch the ball multiple times in order to get into a rhythm and have a chance to have success.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been under constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. On the give, this is Dixon. And he's going to be taken down here as that will lead us to the end of the first half of play.
Thanks, Brandon, and welcome to our EA Halftime Report. I'm Larry Ridley. The Giants are looking good right now as they will just try to keep up the good work in the second half. The Falcons are coming off a bad game, and they haven't been able to get out of that funk here today. All right, let's take a look at some of the highlights from the first half. 3rd down from inside the 20. The pass and catch would lead to a fumble. This will go for a loss of 8. We move late into the 2nd. Offensive line won't be able to hold up here. This one ends up as a loss of 6. Falcons trail now by 4. Still late in the first half. Pass will be completed over the middle, and he'll be tackled at the 46-yard line. So that's a wrap for us. We'll head back now to MetLife Stadium for the start of the second half.
This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. So out come the Falcons now. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall, I think they wanted to be positive with them. Guys, we're right there. Just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football, but the Falcons were able to recover, so they will keep possession. So it goes as a fumble, but the key thing, not a fumble loss.
Yeah, that stat's big, isn't it? I mean, I remember watching teams play. The ball might be on the ground a number of times during the game, but if the other team doesn't get it, that's a huge difference in the ball game. And in this case, they were able to retain possession.
So the offense avoids disaster, keeps possession. Now it's second down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they'll blow that one up back at the 16-yard line. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up third.
It's real easy to say this running game needs to be better, but the reality is they've been given little time to actually find a place to run the football. It's almost like the defense is there on the handoff.
And that is incomplete.
But plain and simple, that's the second time today that he's dropped a pass.
And that one, I think, maybe even a little easier than the earlier one that he dropped. Surprising.
Was this game announced as a night game prior to, and maybe his rhythm is just off? He's got thrown off. He's got to wake up, enjoy the sunshine, and go play.
35 yards that time on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away. Defense, we got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game. Check so far. Defense shut them down. Let's see if the offense gets done.
And this time not as successful as he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be third down. And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom. Quick, quick, quick. And what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
Looking to throw. James. Now they go screen. It's complete. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
Let's give a little credit there. The offensive play caller sensed that the screen pass was available. Whenever you're getting a lot of heavy pressure towards your quarterback, that's when you're thinking about running the screen and using that pressure against the defense. And it worked very well there for a first down.
Now the offense lining up 1st and 10. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Partner, I think from our experience together, we have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you, if I'm going to run the football on first down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They've got to feel pretty good about that one.
James off the play fake. And he's going to go down. They get to him back at the 40.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
The Giants on third down. 3 for 7 so far in this game. This is 3rd and 9.
Green 39! Green 39!
To throw is James. Operating from the gun. And he's going to go down again.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
And the Giants send out their punter now as he's on here to punt it away. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. And a bit of a mistake there. This is well into the end zone for a touchback. And here now come the Falcons. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Looking left side, it's complete. He's got it. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. A gain of 6 there on first.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
So they complete the pass, and now they face a second down.
Let's go.
Operating from the gun, Decker. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. They give him 17 yards that time as that'll move the chains.
But when you hit him on the move like that, he's able to get into open field with a full head of steam. Oh, boy, it's going to be tough to get him down.
Yeah, there was a big window. They're lucky they did get him down. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the first down.
So the offense has it 1st and 10. Now it's Dixon. And down inside the 35, he goes to the 32-yard line. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be second down.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
And after the play on the ground, that brings up second down here. They stay on the ground with Dixon, and he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
They'll run it with Dixon. He's able to get 6. A nice pickup down to the 21.
That's a strong pickup right there on first down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
So the offense readies for a 2nd and 4. From the gun, Decker firing quickly here, and that's complete. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. So they're operating in the red zone. They'll run with Dixon. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. A great play there with his 16th touchdown of the year. And the Falcons are in for 6. Solid job up front. Really just a solid job all the way around to get that one in.
Yeah, that was well executed, wasn't it? Well blocked, well run. End result, 6 points.
Touchdown. And he's got it to make it now 9-6. So that drive goes 8 plays. And in the end, the finishing touch, an 11-yard run. Here's Bosher to kick it away. Fairly short kick, taking it to 14 here. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. And here comes the Giants offense back out onto the field.
These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Well, they held him to a short gain on that one, and it almost felt like on that first run, they're trying to just throw the jab at him. So how do you stop a jab? Get closer and smother it, just as they did on that last play.
And the hole closes quickly. He gets it across the 35 to the 36-yard line.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes. And the Giants send out their punter now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Oh, the Falcons fly in and they block it. Now it's scooped up, and this is a live football. So much for pinning him really deep. Short punt could have pinned him inside the 10. Now great field position the other way.
It's never good when you're punting the ball and your eyes see the ball go back behind you.
No.
In however form, whether it's over your head or to the side, never good. Now it becomes a race to get to the football so they don't pick it up and take it all the way.
Getting set to go again as we look at the back heading onto the field again. He's had a good performance, moved the ball effectively on the ground. Of course, he has the 1 touchdown.
And when you're able to move it as effectively as you've described, that leads to finding a way into the end zone, and now he's just trying to do it for a second time. And, of course, with that comes additional yardage.
Yeah, looking for additional yardage, and again, that second score here in the third quarter. And power running here down to the 6-yard line. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
Right back to Dixon. Spins past it, and he goes backwards on this one. Losing yardage to the 7th. They'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on 2nd down and short. What I like to see?
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt. I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
No, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. The Falcons on 3rd down. Lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This time they face a 3rd and 2. On 3rd and short, it's Dixon. And he'll be brought down on what's going to turn out to be the final play of this 3rd quarter. We're off to the 4th quarter here in Week 15. Happy holidays to all. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Back now here at MetLife Stadium. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the 4th quarter.
Hang on now.
Trying to pound it in with Dixon. And he'll go backwards, losing yardage to the 5. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
And in this situation with a lead fourth quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
It's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
Play action. Decker. And this is going to be caught? No, they say it's incomplete.
Oh, my. You know that's one that he'll want to have back. I mean, they did everything right. Got the linebackers commit on the play action. He just flat out missed.
The offense on third down, they've converted 3 times in 8 chances. They're looking at a 3rd and goal here.
Let's go. Green 39. Green 39.
Operating from the gun. Decker. And this is going to be incomplete.
They may be snapping the ball near the goal line, but all you're thinking defensively, keep them out of the end zone. Force the incompletion, force them into going for 3 and not giving up 6.
So the field goal unit is on the field as this is a big spot right here. This is a fairly straightforward 22-yard short attempt. And Bryant's kick is good. And they double their lead, pushing it up now to 12-6. So they get the 3 here, but you wonder whether that's going to be enough.
Yeah, I mean, you've now made it so they need a touchdown rather than a field goal to catch them. But you're right. If they'd gotten 6 out of that drive, this would be a much different game.
Here's Bosher to kick it away. This one fielded at the 5. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. As the Giants head back out there, let's take a look at the playoff picture in the NFC. And it's right about this time of year you start to say this is when the cream rises to the top. Week 15, 3 weeks left to go, but still plenty to be determined.
And I think for most teams, the obvious is to try and be the number 1 or number 2 seed. But when you look at it across the league and throughout the history of trying to get to the Super Bowl, the teams you really fear are the ones that get hot and sometimes sneak in at a 5 or a 6 seed, because we've seen those teams actually get to the Super Bowl and occasionally win it.
Yeah, you think of the Giants a couple of times. Steelers have done it. You're right. It has happened and will happen more in the future, I'm sure. 15 yards through the air and a first down.
One of the feature points of the in route is being able to make a nice throw to the middle part of the field. And for a quarterback, that's one of the better.
This is caught at the 20. And he takes it down deep into Atlanta territory. And that one results in 35 yards.
Now that play will end up on the highlights, and you'll see it all over the place. But what you won't see, the offensive line that bought the extra time, that allowed for the big completion downfield, those guys made that play possible.
And the next snap coming inside the red zone here. And he'll give it here to his running back. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. And no more. No gain on the play there. Second down.
Green 39! Green 39!
And they give this time to the tailback. And after the good gain last play, this time they say, as he's going to be stopped behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 11 situation. Now a handoff here to his running back. So he got free of 1 tackle, but couldn't do a whole lot else. 3 yards won't be enough here as that'll bring up 4th down. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This a 33-yard attempt. And his kick is good. And that will bring the deficit back down to 3. All right, so this one's now back within a field goal. And if anybody tells you they see how this one's going to end, I'd have to say they're probably lying, Charles.
And this game's had more twists and turns than a good mystery novel. And I have a feeling we've got a few more twists and turns in store for us before they shake hands here.
This is fielded at the chalk of the 10. And he nearly broke that for more, but as it is, they'll start this drive at about the 37-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point?
The kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him in contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about that. Super toe. Well, Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Bythema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive. Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. And he will find his man on the end route. Complete. And he's brought down. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains. A much better effort we're seeing from him under center this week versus last week when he threw 4 picks.
He has thrown the 1 in this game, but you're right. When you cut it down from 4 the previous week, and we always talk about adjustments, well, he made some in practice, and he continues to work on it during the game. I'm sure he's getting plenty of reminders about how to stay in the moment, stay focused on the task.
And he's got him in the driver's seat here in the 4th quarter. On first down, Decker. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. They'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long.
And this is why the head coach gets paid the big bucks. Look at where they are in this situation, partner. Do you throw the ball here in a long-distance situation? Do you run it again and trust your defense and make sure you take care of the ball and punt it away? What kind of options do you have here, and what do you trust more on your team?
Yeah, they may have just pushed him back into that throwing situation. We'll see. Back to throw. Decker. He can't get him down. And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
Here's Matt Bosher now. He'll boot it away from about his 35. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And not what he was hoping for there, as this will hit in the end zone for a touchback. The Giants offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. Gets this to the 24 for a gain of 4.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
Looking to throw. James. And that'll be incomplete.
I know tight ends love this route because a lot of times they'll fake a block first and get a little bit of space and then come across the middle because in their mind, they're thinking catch the ball and then drop the hammer on the little guys in the secondary.
Unable to drop the hammer, he just dropped the pass. One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big third down. Back to throw. James. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. It'll be a 2-yard gain, and it'll be 4th down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
And the Giants send out their punter now. Remember, though, he did have one blocked earlier. And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. And a fair catch signaled for and taken just outside the 20-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
And they're able to get this one across the 35. 17 yards on the pickup there. The drive will continue. It's a 1st down. Time for a break. We'll come back for the electrifying conclusion after this. So it's Falcon football as we welcome you back. They've got a 1st and 10 as they look to try and finish this one off. So the run gets them the first, and now they operate with a fresh set of downs. They'll run it now out of the gun. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. The defense, they got a little bit of a breather. Now they're back and set as we resume play.
Let's go! Green 39! Green 39!
A run by Dixon. And very little room to maneuver. He'll get this down to about the 39. And whistles, and we're going to have another stoppage of play as they call the timeout on defense with 1:53 left. The Falcons on 3rd down. They're hitting at just 30%, 3 for 10. This is 3rd and 9. Now a handoff right side. It's Dixon. And a good swarm to the football defensively as they get him down at about the 40. Now the defense will burn their 3rd and final timeout. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. So a defensive timeout, chance to regather, regroup, and get set as we resume action. And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. And this will be up to the ruling of the side judge here. He says it crossed out of bounds at the 16-yard line. And New York set to take the field. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
It's a gain of 7. He's back to throw. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs. Back to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And, oh, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off at the 16. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
And that one, oh, it's going to hurt big time. You're in the 2-minute drill trying to get your guys down the field, and it's looking like they're going to come up just short, as this is definitely not his best throw. And it'll wind up being intercepted.
Here are the Falcons as their offense heads back onto the field. They have the 3-point lead. Defense did their job. Now, late game. Although it looks good, you know the coaches, they haven't counted this as a victory yet.
I agree with you totally. Big applause for the defense, but no one is taking their headset off on the sidelines. They don't believe this game is over. The offense has to close this one out by taking care of the football.
They'll try to close it out now. And he'll go down just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and it'll be second and very short.
But they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
The Falcons in victory formation as they take a knee. The Falcons on third down. They've had a lot of chances, but not much success, converting only 3 times. Here it's 3rd and 2. A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you primed the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks...